There's a question I've been asking myself the past few years, and that is, can you have too much of a good thing? Let's ask my flowers that question. This is a beautiful black-eyed Susan. I just adore it. It is growing up a $20 trellis, and it's doing great. I just love it. In fact, it will kind of waterfall down with growth, and it reminds me of hair, actually. I just love it. And at a certain point in later this summer, I would say, I will actually just let it continue growing. But today I'm going to trim it because if I let this continue to grow, it will put its energy and strength into growing all of this and to continue growing out, and the vines will get thinner and thinner. So it's spreading its energy out. I want to trim it back so that it puts its energy back into producing more of these orange flowers. So I will get started. Some of these I can actually even tell. These would be two little flower buds popping up here, but I'm going to go ahead and cut them off. I think I will actually, let's see. I will pile up the trimmings here. Maybe I'll show you at the end. Oh, that hurt a little. That might have been too much. I guess we'll see. I would say this black-eyed Susan is telling us that we can have too much of a good thing. When there's so many options, when there's so many things to focus on, you have less time to focus on things the more that you add. The more clothes that you add to your wardrobe, the more commitments that you add to your schedule, the more food that you add to your fridge and pantry, the more meetings you add to your work week. So I would say that there can be too much of a good thing. I think through most of my 20s, I would have said, no, you can't have too much of a good thing. But as I've gotten older and as I've faced more challenges in life, I have changed my answer to that question. I really see the wisdom in scaling back, cutting back, prioritizing and focusing on a few things. Really letting those things have your attention. And the funny thing is, it's almost paradoxical. I feel like that ends up becoming much more rewarding to put your energy into one hobby, for example, and then see the results of that. I think this also ties into minimalism. I don't know about you, but I had too many clothes for a long, long time. And as I had more and more chronic illness issues, my decision fatigue would get so bad that I actually pared down my wardrobe significantly in order to make one less decision each day. Now, I've relaxed on that a bit, but it was necessary at the time. I remember being worried actually what other people would think if I started basically wearing the same few outfits to work every week. Nobody really said anything, in case you're wondering. That was kind of a cool moment for me. Aha. Wow, it is really vining. I'm not even to the bottom yet. There's all kinds grown out the bottom as well. My intention in pruning this is to drive energy back into the main part of the plant to generate more of these beautiful orange flowers. And I think it's going to work. I feel that I personally have been through a major pruning work in my life in the last year. And I actually remember one year I pruned a certain flower, I think it was geraniums. And usually you can prune plants pretty aggressively and they are resilient and they will grow back all the stronger. But there was just one time last year where I over pruned geraniums and they really didn't come back well after that. And I was really sick last year and I had so much fatigue that I could barely function. And I remember thinking, I feel like these geraniums, I feel that I have been pruned by life's challenges so heavily that I'm not coming back from this one. Well, that was not the case, I'm happy to say. The Lord did a pruning work in my life. I did not fully understand it at the time. I still don't, if I'm being honest. But I am starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think one of the good things coming out of that season is starting this YouTube channel and hitting all these limitations with my energy has helped me really narrow down and focus in on what do I want. What would have happened otherwise? I don't really know, but I can guess. And I think that I would have continued to play the role of Superwoman, which would turn into Super Mom. And I would have hit a wall at some point or another. In fact, yeah, the way that I was living my life and pushing myself so hard, it was really only a matter of time before I hit a wall. And so maybe in some ways I'm grateful to hit a big wall a little bit earlier, because now it can change sooner, I guess. It also reminds me of the Bible verse. I think it's in Proverbs. I'm going to paraphrase this. It's something like, it's better to have a quiet morsel and be content than to have both hands full, but vexation of spirit, something like that. I feel like I've experienced that before. I'd prefer to just have a quiet weeknight dinner at home with my husband after an average day than to be on a lovely beach vacation and be in an argument with him. Wow. I'm actually just amazed at the amount of shoots that this puts out. And I've actually watched some videos from other YouTubers that I find very helpful on limitations and kind of reframing the ways that we look at what we view as a limitation. Whether it's a time limitation, financial limitation, health limitation, things like that. It grows into some of the other plants. This is what I call my flower wall. And I do like for it, I would say my goal is by the end of each summer for the flowers to basically be growing together, lush and beautiful and abundant. So at a certain point, I probably will just let it go and just see how they grow. In the meantime, I prune. Oh, that was a cool bug. I don't know what that was. Okay, there's still quite a bit to go over here. Okay, I'll show you all of this. Okay, I will let you know if this was too much pruning and I might need to do another video and update the life lesson. But in the meantime, I think this is going to drive more beautiful flower growth. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.